Welcome to No Cover Comics.
Superman number 308, from February 1977.
Sound and fury. The sound of a planet exploding, the fury of a spreading fireball. And in the midst of the sound comes a cry, like the cry of a soul in torment.
It must be true. Krypton was destroyed, and 3 billion people died. If that isn't true, I'm either insane, or my entire life has been a lie.
This Planet is Mine. Story by Jerry Conway. Art by J.L. Garcia-Lopez and Frank Springer.
Shove it, cousin. We've gone over this a half a dozen times. There was never a planet called Krypton, so stop being so maudlin. You were born right here on Earth, to parents who were victims of a radioactive accident, and that is all.
I'm warning you, Supergirl. Don't treat me like a child. And don't smash another display until I'm absolutely certain you're telling the truth.
Are you threatening me, Superman?
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, you better know, because I've had it with your thick-headedness. I've shown you the video proving you were born a son of Martha and Jonathan Kent. I've told you how your father and mine worked at an early atomic lab, where they both received heavy doses of radiation, which affected their genes and caused us to be born with superpowers. What more proof do you need?
My head's still spinning, but I'm conscious again. And I remember, I tracked Superman here to his fortress of solitude, wanting to destroy him. Instead, he defeated me, turning my molecular powers against me. Well, that was only round one. It's clear I can't fight Superman alone, even with my ability to alter my molecular structure. Still, I've sworn to protect environment-damaging industries from attack. And if that means finding help to destroy the Man of Steel, then that's what I'll do. For I call myself the Protector, and no man may stand against me.
His body a mass of electrically charged ions. The self-styled Protector swoops through the air like a living lightning bolt, and before either Maid of Might or Man of Steel can so much as gape in surprise, the molecular menace strikes, and in the instant following, is gone. Stunned, the two heroes stagger, but do not fall, and when they recover...
Wait till I get my hands on that guy.
No. What's the point of chasing him, Supergirl? I'm not even sure he's wrong in wanting to destroy me. After the way I behaved earlier today, perhaps I am a menace. I just don't know. I've got to go somewhere, be alone, and think.
You do that, cousin. And if you need any help, just call, and I'll be there.
And as soon as the Man of Tomorrow disappears over the horizon.
Supergirl reporting in. I've done all you told me to do, and it seems to be working. I only pray it is the right thing.
Mysterious goings-on, Supergirl? Perhaps everything isn't what it seems, after all.
At any rate, a few moments later, in Metropolis, at 344 Clinton Street, something somewhat bewildering is about to occur, and if you want to see what, you better watch carefully.
Ordinarily, I just fly through a window of my apartment, but my X-ray vision has shown me that's impractical, so I'll just have to improvise a costume switch behind the cab driver's back. Excuse me, Frank. People tell me I'm not the most impressive man in the world, but this is ridiculous.
What? Mr. Kent, I didn't see you. That is, how?
Now to deal with my other problem. Lois. Lois? How did you get in here?
I told your superintendent I'm a long-lost sister and he let me in with a passkey. I thought I'd offer an apology the best way I know how, by cooking you your favorite dinner, beef bourguignon.
An apology? For what?
For the way I treated you at the office, when that girl Terry showed up. I was incensed. I thought you were two-timing me. But then I realized, I'm a mature woman, a liberated lady. And if I want a man, I should go get him. So here I am.
And here you are. Just when I need most to be alone. Or do I? The reason I've always resisted a romance, aside from the danger it might cause Lois, is because I've always considered myself an outsider, an alien, a stranger on Earth. Yet, that's changed, and perhaps it's time I changed too. Lois, a toast. To us. And to the future.
Clark, you've got the most magnificent eyes. To us.
Elsewhere, In the upper reaches of the Rocky Mountains, other events are in progress, events of equal importance to our story.
The last word I had from him, he was here, in what he calls his sanctuary. He's the only one I can turn to now, if he hasn't gone insane, again. Ever since the accident which made him what he is, he's trembled on the edge of madness. Still, I've dealt with him, and he kept my secret, as I kept his these many years. If I can trust anyone, I can trust.
Traitor. I told you never to come here. Never.
Radion, wait! I haven't betrayed you. I've come here alone, defenseless, because I need your help.
You need my help? Well then, come inside.
All these years, I've kept your existence a secret, as I promised. No one knows you're a survivor of a nuclear disaster at one of the nation's top secret experimental installations, and I'm not about to tell them. I know how you found yourself alive after the explosion which destroyed all your coworkers. I know how you climbed from the rubble and found your body altered. I know how you discovered the radioactive powers you possessed, the ability to cause atomic decay with a simple gesture, and to perform acts more violent through mere concentration. I know that you changed your name to fit your powers, and you sought out others with strange abilities born of mutations like your own. That's how you found me. You taught me to develop my powers, and then you swore me to secrecy, told me that I should not reveal myself to the world unless absolutely necessary.
But you have revealed yourself, and your presence here threatens my master plan.
No, Radion. It isn't I who am the threat to your plan. The threat is Superman.
Are you serious?
Listen, and I'll tell you what I know.
More on that conversation later. For now, we must turn our minds back to Metropolis for a moment, and to an observatory at the edge of the city, where Professor Pepperwinkle is testing his new hyperspatial telescope.
Oh, my goodness gracious. This is simply awful. I must tell someone about it immediately. But who? Who'd believe me?
But Professor Pepperwinkle's discovery can't be revealed yet, as we shift once again back to Clark Kent's apartment, as a morning sun finds Clark restless indeed.
All these mementos of Krypton, hidden in my secret closet, are they all a fraud? Even this Phantom Zone projector, used to exile hardened criminals back on Krypton, is it a fake too? Nothing. Normally pushing that button would unleash a dozen super criminals, and today it did nothing. Yes, Supergirl must be telling the truth.
Just 5 minutes ago at Huli Nuclear Power Station.
My clock radio turning on. And what's the news announcer saying?
Authorities have yet to identify the mysterious figure attacking the station. The situation appears dangerous, and all personnel have been evacuated. We'll keep you informed with a continuous update.
Need it be said, this is a job for Superman. The Huli Nuclear Power Station, built in 1968, occupying 200 acres of land overlooking the Niagara River, Huli Station supplies energy to over 60,000 families in the upstate area. Or rather, it did until this morning. Since dawn, there have been complications.
Nothing stops that guy. We must have used up 1 million rounds of ammunition, and he's still moving.
Well, he won't be moving for long. Take a look. It's Superman.
But the police aren't the only ones aware of Superman's approach, and so...
My entire body tingling, as though I'd been electrically shocked. But that's impossible. Even the protector didn't hurt me like this. And my costume, it's been blackened like burned cloth. This character has more power than I've encountered in a long time. But I can't let that stop me from doing my job.
Superman doesn't realize how effective my radioactive powers can be. Even against him. I can literally scorch the air around him and carbonize the oxygen on his suit, yet I can also do far more. Such as this.
He's blasting the ground, mashing it into a sort of wall.
Superman's gonna hit.
Off balance, the Man of Steel tumbles earthward, where yet another radioactive burst catches him, trapping him in a sphere of gleaming energy.
You can't move Kryptonian. Within my proto-nuclear globe, your atomic weight has increased to 100,000 tons. You have no choice but to listen as I speak the last words you'll ever hear. You interrupted me as I was performing the most fateful act of my life. The overloading of a nuclear reactor. Yes, I'm aware of what would happen. What will happen when the reactor goes wild? Fallout will spread across the nation, reaching everywhere, touching 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people. What is touched will be contaminated, and those contaminated will produce mutations. Some will be mutations like myself, with powers and abilities far beyond those of ordinary men. Others will be monstrosities, yet still, they will represent the future of mankind. A future I will control.
Great galaxies. The man's insane.
I was planning to do this eventually, but your efforts to stop the Protector forced my hand. He and I have a stake in Earth's environmental pollution. We can't be stopped, not even by you, Superman.
Perhaps not, but I'm sure going to try. This madman is overloading that plant's atomic pile, but maybe, with heat vision, I can melt the control rods in the main reactor, cause them to drop directly into the pile, and thus dampen it before it gets beyond control. It's working. The pile stopped glowing. Did it? Now I can concentrate on freeing myself.
Steel muscles ripple and strain, a granite chest heaves, and in the early morning sunlight, a gleaming globular prison buckles, and explodes. But in that moment of success, there's also failure, as
that radioactive crazy is escaping, and I'm too groggy to follow. Did I win the round, but lose the war?
Hurrah, Superman!
Hooray!
Hooray!
The cheering fades with time and distance, and long after the last hurrah, the melancholy man of tomorrow finds himself alone once more, having returned to his fortress of solitude.
So what does it all boil down to? Am I Kal-El, son of Krypton, or Clark Kent, native of Smallville? I've always thought myself a man without a home, but now it seems I've got a home, with enemies who want to destroy it. I should be happy, I suppose, but I can't help feeling a little sad. I'm ready now, I think. I've had my time for thought. I don't know all the answers about myself, but I do know this. It's time for a resolution.
9,656 kilometers south.
You should have finished him. You could have, but you quit.
I retreated. There is a difference, you pup. I spent years living in secrecy, planning, waiting, working for the proper moment, and now it's all been wasted because of you.
That's right. Blame me. When you're the one who...
Gentlemen, this is no time to argue. In case you haven't noticed, you're in trouble. Deep trouble.
Superman!
You were a fool to come here, Superman. This is my home ground. Here I can destroy you.
Perhaps, but you'll have to hit me first. And since I'm not in a static mood, you may find that difficult. Isn't that right, Protector?
Your heat vision can't harm me, Kryptonian, not when I can alter my molecules and reflect your heat beams like a living mirror. Between us, Radion and I are invincible.
I figured you might say that, Protector, and that's why I'm not fighting either of you head-on.
Stand still, blast you. I can't get a direct shot.
That's the idea, Radion. I want you to track me with your radioactive blasts. I want you to follow me in a circle, and then before you know it, I'll be gone, and your new target will be...
Protector. No.
And since I tricked the Protector into becoming a reflecting surface, Radion's last target will be... himself.
Two unconscious bodies fall like dead weights, and then...
The ironic part is, they and I have so much in common. We were all victims of mutation, yet they turned their powers against the normal world, while what do? I've lived a life which now seems to be a lie. Perhaps it's time I change my life, and give it new meaning. But, change it to what?
A poignant question, Superman, which can only be answered after we learn Professor Pepperwinkle's discovery. A discovery even now being made by other people, somewhere else, in a place which for now will remain unidentified.
Look, my friends. A fleet of space-going warships, headed for the planet Zon.
Once it would be a job for Superman. But now I am not so sure.
True. We have caused him to abandon his Kryptonian heritage.
Yet now I wonder, have we doomed the world by so doing?
If we have, then we have also doomed ourselves.
If Zon falls, can Earth be far behind?
And in that darkened place without a name, there's suddenly brooding silence. A A silence filled with fear.
Next issue, the climactic conclusion. Blind Heroes Bluff. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like and subscribe.